It was 12 a.m. I stupidly decided to go to my local Safeway for some food. As I was getting ready to leave my house, I grabbed my pocket knife, just in case. I was originally supposed to take the bus, but it left right as I turned the corner to the street with the bus stop. This really made me mad. So with no other options, I foolishly decided to walk the 1-mile trip to Safeway. Which, if you're reading this, was a mistake. 30 minutes later, I was almost 2/3 of the way there. But I had a gut feeling that something was wrong. And I was right. But I brushed it off as nothing and kept walking. As soon as I turned the corner, there was a figure, about 10 feet from me, just standing there, looking downward. But it slowly rose its head to look at me, or at least what I thought was a head. But as I saw where its face was supposed to be, I looked in horror, as there was a decayed skeleton instead. I meant to ask, "What do you want?" in a demanding tone, but what came out was a whimper and pathetic. Man, what? After a moment of no response, I knew it wasn't a prank. I don't know how I knew. I just did. I would love to say I ran or pulled out my knife or something, but I couldn't. In fact, I was so frozen in fear I couldn't even move. The sweat on my face froze in place, time stood still, and I swear I was levitated slightly off the ground. The figure inched closer. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. The figure stopped 6 feet from me. It reached out its skeletal, rotting finger and spoke the most chilling thing I have ever heard. It said, "The end is always near. Be warned." And then I blacked out. I awoke and the figure was gone. I ran as fast as I possibly could all the way back home. About a month later, me and my buddies just shoplifted at 7-Eleven. It was getting late, so I said I would catch them later. I started the 10-minute walk home. But with how tired I was at the pace I was walking, it would take about 15. I checked my watch in a daze. 12 a.m. I cursed under my breath, remembering what happened last time, what that thing said. I quickened my pace. And once again, the figure was there, in its gray, tattered robes, and again I was frozen, paralyzed. It came closer and spoke. It told me I had committed great sin, and that it shall be punished. It said, "If you think the dead rest in peace, think again." Ripping open its chest to reveal faces of souls he had collected, hearing their mournful cries made me sick. But somehow I managed to break free and run, looking back only once. But to my surprise, it did not chase me. It just watched, almost like it was letting me leave, or it wanted to hunt me. Either way, I didn't want to lead it home just in case. So I went to the park, grabbed my backpack, took out a paper and a pencil, and began writing, in case the worst should happen, which it did. I looked up, and there he was again. He said as he threw me. I threw my backpack at him, but he vanished. I ran, but tripped on a branch and busted my knee on the sidewalk. Unable to run, I looked up, and the figure was standing over me with a sinister grin. I got up and limped until he was out of sight. I limped to the nearest store and ducked inside. I continued writing. After about 3 hours, I slowly limped out and started walking home. Stupidly, about 3 hours later, I finally made it with no figure in sight. I laid on my bed, closed my eyes, and fell asleep, until I felt something like I was being watched, but I wasn't sleep paralysis because I could move. But that didn't help me, because that meant it was real life. I refused to open my eyes, but then it spoke.
"May the demons of the underworld have mercy on your soul."
Leaning over me, smiling, I screamed, "To anyone who reads this letter, always pray and try to do the right thing. The Grim Reaper is real. Sin always goes punished. So don't make the same mistakes I did, or else you may end up like me."